Football is a fantastic game. Played in every corner of the world, you know. Every corner you go, everywhere in the world, and you see those goal posts. What a great game it is.
Now it's Charlton, Bobby Charlton, hand on the right. Maybe a shot from Charlton. It's worth trying.
It's said that people in some countries know only 2 words of English, Bobby and Charlton. Exactly 20 years since his retirement from professional soccer, Bobby Charlton remains one of sport's best-loved figures. Nowadays, he regularly organises sports days for children, passing on his knowledge and enthusiasm to those starting out on the path he trod at their age.
I came from a footballing family and fortunately found that I found the game reasonably easy. And when I left school at 15, Manchester United asked me if I would like to come and play for them, and that's what I did.
The team he joined was one of the finest in English sporting history. United's manager, Matt Busby, had produced a sensational young squad that became English champions twice. Charlton made his debut in 1956 at the age of 18. They became the first English club to enter European competition, and despite an average age of less than 25, were instantly one of the most powerful teams. In 1958, they were poised to become the best club in Europe.
Manchester United had such a great team at that particular time, which was only stopped in its tracks, really, by the Munich air crash.
8 players died on a Munich runway coming back from a European Cup fixture in Belgrade. The Busby Babes were no more. Among the survivors was Bobby Charlton. The recovery of the club was a slow process.
The feeling throughout the country was of the national team and Manchester United being absolutely devastated. And it did take a long time. When Sir Matt Busby came back after his injuries, he did say that it would take probably 5 years to actually bring Manchester United up to that sort of a standard again. And it was literally to the day in 1963 that Manchester United won the FA Cup, and they were back in the big time again.
With Charlton playing left wing, Manchester United beat Leicester 3-1 in the Wembley final. It was the first trophy of a new era. But according to his mother, Charlton's footballing ambitions had always extended to his country as well as his club.
Well, from a little boy, he always looked like making it. Always. Never had any doubts that one day would play for England.
Charlton had made his first appearance for England in 1958, just 10 weeks after the Munich disaster, and he swiftly became a regular goal scorer in national colours. In 1962, he went to the World Cup in Chile.
Are we going to have a shot? He scored!
4 years later, he and brother Jack were part of England's attempt to win soccer's greatest prize on home soil. There was great anticipation, and the team was the centre of attention. They were feted by movie stars and the media. But away from the limelight, they'd been moulded into an effective unit by their manager, Alf Ramsey.
Alf Ramsey was really good to work with. He made his players feel very comfortable with what they had to do on the field, and yet feel reasonably free enough to go and release yourself to do whatever you want to do.
Charlton's greatest personal performance came in the semi-final against Portugal. An encounter between 2 teams at the peak of their form was decided by 2 Bobby Charlton goals.
Great screen from someone now, and it's through to Hunt. Charlton has scored! This is Moore. Now to Cohen. England making Portugal chase. And it's Hurst. Five ready by Hurst, back to Charlton. This could be it, it is! And that could be the goal that puts England in the final.
The 2 brothers would represent England in the final at Wembley.
They can hardly get up. It's all over, I think. No, it's... And here comes Hurst. He's got... Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.
And following Geoff Hurst's hat-trick, they were world champions.
When I started off as a professional footballer, I didn't even know that we were in the World Cup. I didn't even know that it existed. So to be able to stand back afterwards which me and our Jack said to each other, you know, at the end of the 90 minutes, said, well, what more is there to do? You know, you can actually say that you're the best and no one can argue.
But there was more to do. The culmination of the European dream that was interrupted at Munich. In 1968, Manchester United met Benfica of Portugal in the European Cup final. With great players like George Best alongside him, Bobby Charlton scored twice and Manchester United won 4-1.
That was the culmination of every Man United supporter's dream. Sir Matt Busby was there and everybody charged around him, you know, to congratulate him that at last, you know, the Manchester United had been recognised as the team that we all hoped they were and thought that they were. But you can only do that if you win things. And suddenly we'd won the European Cup and everything was great.
Charlton played for England until 1970, and 3 years later, in April 1973, he retired from all soccer. He played 106 times for his country and scored 49 goals, still a record. He was voted European Footballer of the Year in 1966 and has received a multitude of honours worldwide. Today, Bobby Charlton is one of soccer's finest ambassadors. But most important to him is the next generation, and he helps children all around the world to make the most of their sport and to see it as fun.
Only a great goalkeeper would stop this. Did you see that?
20 years after his retirement from playing, Bobby Charlton is still one of the greatest names of the world's greatest game.
I love every minute of it. Every minute I wake up, every morning I wake up and there's a football match either to play or to watch. It's like Christmas Day for me.